There.
You and your damn palomino bugs.
Oh, palomino bug. It's a palmetto.
Oh. Hydration.
I brought water with me. You ready to start? This is the loudest swallow I can possibly do.
Okay.
You good to go?
Sure.
All right. Boom. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another episode of the Not Robots podcast. That's your host, Harry.
Huh?
What?
Oh.
Are you asleep again?
Yeah. You know, at my age, I require regular.
Naps?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Oh, so
Pete.
what just happened?
What's up, man? What's going on?
What just happened is that I introduced you.
Oh,
to the camera.
you did?
I did.
Aren't we in the middle of a hurricane?
That's what they say.
The horror.
It just passed, and I don't know how we're going to deal with the cleanup.
Passed gas?
That's probably all it passed in the state completely.
Oh.
I think a palm frond fell down, but don't worry, I moved it when I came over.
I've heard horror stories. People were telling me that it was raining sideways at their house, torrential downpours, lightning, thunder, cats and dogs living together. It was a veritable apocalypse.
Well, that's not what we're talking about today.
Oh, because it didn't rain here at all.
No, we got nothing. I mean, right where they're like, it's going to hit right where you guys are at. Okay, cool.
The sun came out.
It did?
Around 4. No, the sun came out around 4:30 yesterday. Well, 4-ish. And I was like, oh, look, the sun's out. Aren't we supposed to be king?
Yeah, when I left work,
tropical storming?
Yeah, when I left work, it was a little windy.
It wasn't that Casper's friend, the witch, that rode on a broom?
No, it's the fast food place that sells the box of 50 nuggets. That is delicious.
Oh.
Yes. All right.
So what's today's topic,
yes,
Pete?
Today what we're going to talk
Pete,
about,
by the way.
Yes, thank you. All right. What we're going to speak about today, man? It's very. If that's how you snore, I feel bad for anybody who's like.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Pete!
You might need to be tested for sleep apnea.
You're back.
My front too. Yes. All right. Today we're going to be asking the age-old question.
Hold on.
I know, we're back to the age-old question. Those of you who are around since
all right, You know what? I'm finally going to ask this age-old question. So who originally asked this question, Pete, since it's age-old?
We did?
Okay, keep going, Pete.
All right. Today we're going to be asking the age-old question. How do you expand your brain hole?
That's easy.
Wait a minute. All these people, all this time, really only using like 15% of their brain total capacity. And we're talking about smart people like NGT, like you know we're talking about if you've been listening for a while. How is it possibly easy?
So first off,
it's going to need an explanation, clearly. Can't be that easy.
This is going to require a lot of painkillers.
Go on. I'm actually scared to say that.
A bone saw.
Oh boy. Some potting soil.
Some pre-existing cranial bone.
So you need more cranial bone than what it is you already have.
And some extra gray matter that you procure from somewhere. You see,
wait a minute,
I
that's
believe
just
that
saying
the
that you have a bigger
scientist,
brain.
you said, how do we expand it? So I believe that the scientist Victor von Frankenstein had a lot of really great theories. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find ourselves a volunteer.
Victor Frankenstein later changed his name. Did you know that?
Yes, to Frankenstein.
No.
So
Helios. It was Victor Helios. when he finally perfected the human creations, and the very first of his creations, the one that people think of as Frankenstein with the bolt in his neck and stuff like that. Yes, he was the first one of the immortals that he created. He created so many later on that they started replacing humans. You didn't know this? You might be replaced yourself.
Obviously, I did not.
Oh man, we're gonna have to go over some of that history later. By the way, there's a 4-book series that follow up from Victor Helios. I'm on book 4 right now. I don't know what happens yet. There's a spider and a big old trash hole and all sorts of craziness that happens in the 3rd one. You gotta read it. I don't know if you read, but one of those things that I think of is that
which you refer.
reading is how you make, well, lifting weights makes your muscles bigger as long as proper diet and so on. But reading, I think,
hear
makes
that you
the
can
brain
bypass
bigger.
that whole entire lifting weights thing with the right chemical concoction. So let's go back to Victor von Frankenstein came up with the best way. So first off, we need ourselves a volunteer.
Well, I think what's going to work out
Preferably
better
living.
is a screaming voluntold would probably work out better.
Okay, that may, well, with the right amount of painkillers, even that'll work. So
at that point,
we
we're going to
need
become
and
a volunteer.
Then we need to get the volunteer, and then we need to shave their head because this obviously we're working in that area and we don't want any contaminants. And then we're going to have to clean the head appropriately with good antibacterial wash.
Wait, so we're not using
pre-surgery.
hand sanitizer?
No, I don't think hand sanitizer is going to cut it.
No, it doesn't cut it.
No.
Apparently everybody thinks that if you use hand sanitizer, it's better than washing your hands for some reason. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
So
if you get turds on your hand and you wash them, there's no more turd.
Can I
If you get turds in your hand and you put hand sanitizer on it, you have sanitized turds on your hand.
Can I ask the age-old question of why you know this?
No.
Okay, so I guess we'll be moving back on to. So now that we've disinfected the area that we're going to be working with, essentially
soap and water,
and shaved the voluntold's head.
Yes.
We have them face down so that we can access the back part. So essentially, we're going to cut down the center, pry it apart.
Like a coconut. Split it in half.
Only if you're really good, because most people get it jagged. We don't want it jagged. We want it smooth.
So if it's split perfectly,
we
like
want a
a
nice
cartoon coconut,
sure.
then it has a bunch of white, delicious stuff on the inside.
Which would be, in our case, would be gray matter.
A bunch of water.
In our scenario, it would be gray matter, and then it'd be brain stem and all that cool
But
stuff.
the inside of coconut, if it's gray, you shouldn't eat it.
Well, we're talking about our voluntold. So now that we've bisected our voluntold's head.
I was told that the human brain looks more like macaroni and cheese with a little bit of ketchup mixed in when it starts bleeding.
Hopefully it's not bleeding because, we're being delicate here.
Well,
this is delicate surgery.
Did you stop the bleeding along the whole side with the bone saw?
Bone saw. Because remember,
what did you start with before you got to the bone?
So first we have to take a scalpel to the scalp.
Yeah, but anytime you use a scalpel, it makes you bleed.
Yeah, but the brain's below the bone. So how exactly is the scalpel cutting through bone? Exactly, sir?
It's not.
That's why we have a bone saw.
You gotta cut the scalp first.
Yes, so that's
with
what we're doing.
With a scalpel, that's why it's called that.
We're going to score the scalpel so that we can cut the skin and peel it away, much like Shrek.
Was the scalpel on the scalp invented by scalpers?
It's much like Shrek, because it's like an onion, so we're going to peel.
Oh, it has layers.
Yes. So we're going to peel the scalp away.
Like an onion.
Like an onion. And then at that point, we're going to carefully take the bone saw and we're going to bisect the skull, paying close attention not to nick the brain.
Oh, so you can't just saw down until it gets to the point. You got to do it in little bits all the way around.
Yeah, we're not. We're not a chop saw.
What are you cutting for?
Cutting.
I didn't check your temperature before we did this.
Oh shoot, it's 104.
100.4? 104 should be fine, but 100.4
apparently
is scary.
I'm killing stuff left
Oh,
and right.
you're good then.
So once we bisect the skull, we're just going to part it.
Like the Red Sea.
Let my gray matter go. Yeah. So we're going to part.
Not sure how that's how it went, but all right. Close enough.
Okay, fine. So we're going to open the skull, revealing the brain.
Feeling the brain?
Revealing.
Showing it off.
Yeah, we're going to put it in lingerie. It'll be revealing.
Oh, nice.
So now that we have access to the brain, this is where the other gray matter that we've harvested from another voluntold comes into play.
Okay.
We're going to take this voluntold gray matter and we're going to fuse it with the existing gray matter, thereby expanding, because we were working on expanding the brain, thereby expanding the brain by that much volume.
Well, it happens to the voluntold's person, the voluntold's brain.
The second voluntold? The first voluntold?
Well, not the one receiving, but the one giving. Is he going all the way to... He's keeping only 15%.
Taking one for the T.
Oh, okay.
So now...
Does it transfer personality from voluntold 1 to voluntold 2?
We're going to find out, aren't we?
That might be why some of the smart people have split personalities. It's already done.
Exactly.
And they hold behind all that hair. They could be a conehead.
Now you know.
Knowing
now they're
after
going
that
to come for you. But, well, it's too late for you anyway. So now we need to do... Now this is
it's only too late for one of them.
Now this is where math comes in now. Because now we've got bisected skull. We've got...
I don't want to do any math.
We got to do math. So now we have your new quantity of gray matter in there. So we've got more volume. And obviously bisected skull isn't going to fit it. Because it'll be like, you know, if you got a fro and you put on a hat that's too tight and it kind of sticks out all over the place. That's kind of towed up, right? So we don't want to do that. We need to be able to fully envelop the current volume of gray matter in a new skull. So we've got to...
So is it like a thinner skull? Is that what
No, we're not going to thin the skull.
It's going to be a bigger skull.
We're not going to thin the skull. See, this is... I told you we needed some excess skull, too. So now, from our living bone donator, our voluntold there, we're going to estimate how much we need. We're going to graft that in so that the head is now big enough to sustain the full volume of this newly expanded brain.
Oh, you've given this a lot of thought.
I told you.
I mean, you have plans to get this done on your own, or do you need a voluntold?
I could use some help collecting.
Oh. Not it? Jeez. If you want to help him collect, send an email to notrobotsquestions. No, don't do that.
This will be a great experiment. So now you've got this mega mind, as it were.
Ooh.
And we've enclosed it in this new skull compartment.
Thunderdome.
It may well be, but we don't know how much volume we jammed in there, so we've got to... But now...
Wait, you packed the brain in? You squished it?
No, I didn't squish it. I didn't... Remember, we added, and then we estimated, and then we got bone from voluntold, and then we grafted so that it would fit perfectly without compressing the new volume of gray matter.
This sounds just as archaic as human centipede.
No, not at all. This is far more evolved and complex. So...
Well, definitely more evolved and complex than human centipede 2. Did you see that one?
I didn't see any of the human centipede.
There's a reason why it was in black and white, other than this one scene where some brown hit the screen.
Let's say I did not see this one. So now I've got a really big concern, though. I need a new original voluntold. Because I did not think about this.
So you need a third person now?
No, I need to go back to the drawing board and change the specs for my original voluntold.
So 1 and 2, are they just goners now and you're starting over?
Only on paper. Because I didn't factor for the new volume and new skull mass upon the atlas and the neck structure of the voluntold. So now it's got all this excess weight. Exactly.
He's flopping.
It may not be able to hold his head up.
Or she's
I don't
flopping.
even think Viagra would help at this point.
Wrong neck?
Oh, well, you know, you gotta get... So,
It's Viagra that gets stuck in his throat. That's why. Didn't quite
then that would actually... Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking I need to find someone who is both incredibly smart but incredibly muscular so that they could actually support.
Stop looking at me like that.
What? I'm thinking that maybe you could figure out someone who may fit the bill. Because that new head with the new big mega mind and could you imagine sneezes, snaps his neck dead. Oh, that'd be horrible. That would be horrible. So they've got to have enough, first off, we're going to have to increase the bone density in the vertebrae, and we're also going to have to make sure that they have enough muscle mass to support this behemoth.
No, you need somebody that has a neck.
Like Juggernaut, like Juggerhead, because it's just massive.
Yeah, but see, Juggernaut, he had that iron helmet.
It was an iron. I thought
Whatever
it
was called.
Complex.
Root,
I don't know.
Non-magnetic,
Whatever it was that he
something
could not. It was
magnetic
because
Magneto,
could rip it off. It blocked psionic waves.
Yeah.
So because his
Whatever
half brother.
So it was made of something.
His half brother couldn't attack him.
Unobtainium.
Yes. Fine. I think I need more power.
Oh no, you don't. But anyways, he was able to hold his head up just fine with all that extra weight in there.
Well, if you
just like a knight wearing their armor.
What extra weight?
So if a knight.
No. What extra weight? What are you talking about? What extra weight?
The helmet.
The helmet actually anchored to his shoulders.
It did, didn't it? He
so
couldn't turn his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so terrible.
Yeah. So those
right,
massive shoulders offloaded the weight.
Dang it.
You do not know your Juggernaut.
No, but what about like the old knight in shining armor sort of thing?
What about them?
They had iron, or I guess steel at some point, helmets.
Uh-huh.
Bronze before that.
Uh-huh. Bronze wasn't that heavy.
That weighed something.
Yeah, but they were thick. Well, the knight's not really, because remember, the armor rested upon the armor. So it's more like Juggernaut's helmet.
So are you saying that when they gain all this extra brain?
The 300, because they didn't have the whole entire armor thing, so the helmet didn't rest upon other armor, that was truly their neck. Those boys were bad. Yes.
They fought in thongs.
Okay, so let us continue forward here. So you were saying, what about...
If you got that kind of confidence, I'm not messing with you. I'm just saying.
So we need to make sure that our voluntold can support Mind 2.0. Right, the way I said that?
Mind what?
Mind 2.0.
2.0? What?
Upgraded Mind 2.0.
Oh, 2.0.
2.0.
Oh.
You Americans and your points.
2.0.
No, you're not going to 2.0.
.com.
No, it's not.
I don't understand. Why does it make a difference?
So,
does it?
We need to make sure that
Wait a minute. Which ones do we use? There's anchor.fm / not dash robots. Is that the one?
So, back to we need to have a voluntold who's got Neckzilla up front.
Does it have scales and
that'd be awesome.
Arms.
I mean, definitely would know that it's holding
breathing fire.
Yeah, the neck breathes
for
fire
New York.
Well,
They've seen
it's Tokyo. It doesn't happen in New York.
Yeah, but when the one comes to the U.S., they chose New York.
No, actually, it should.
No, it was King Kong.
That's
right.
Yeah, King Kong was always
right.
Yeah. Godzilla would come to L.A.
So Godzilla versus King Kong, where would they fight at?
Somewhere in Arizona.
Like Kansas City, I was thinking.
Oh, no, Kansas City probably wouldn't be, but nah.
Because then they could be between two
states. Just the arch
states.
thing, though. Because, the arch, and then somebody would trip over it, and it would ruin the whole movie.
Well, if they did it in Chicago, no one would notice. I mean, there's already a mess on a lot of it. Just put them in downtown, like the destroyed section.
So let's get back to, we would need a voluntold with a neck the size of...
Quit looking at my neck.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
You're a prime example of, because your neck ends at your shoulder, and you don't even have ears. Oh, well, no, maybe.
Ears?
It's kind of hard to tell, because your neck's kind of part of the whole entire thing. It almost looks like you're wearing Juggernaut's helmet, except for there's no top part. It's all here.
It's all shoulder. I got some decent
Your neck is like
Traps?
4 millimeters long, man.
So you admit I have a neck.
Barely.
Haha, I win.
Barely.
Yes.
You couldn't fit a tie around that thing. It rolled down.
I tell you what, it's super uncomfortable when I have to wear a
See?
tie. Clip-ons are so much better.
Oh, great. Now he's back in grade school.
No, they usually us clip-ons at work.
That's just sad.
It's true.
So,
The official clip-on tie.
once we find the correct volunteer with the correct neck girth and we believe he has it, then we just go through the process and, shave, disinfect, scalpel, peel skin, cut skull, bisect, gray matter, expansion, skull measurement, graft of bone, fusion.
Okay. We get the point.
Preferably glue. I don't really
At
want
the end
stitches.
of all of this train wreck that you just went over, does that make them actually be able to use
No, you
more
said
of their
expand.
brain?
You did not say capacity. You didn't say usage. You just said expand brain.
Oh. Yes.
So I've done that.
Okay.
To
So
your
let's go to
specifications.
let's go to the other side of that then. How would you expand?
How would we shrink it? So
No.
now we
Oh
just
my
take
God.
voluntold X, and we don't need anybody else
We
because
use
we're
a turkey
shrinking
baster.
at this point. Because I mean, we're doing the whole head shrinking thing. So we got to go all Pacific Islander early 1700s. So we've got to actually use this concoction made from the barks of different trees.
Yeah, you're going all like Jamaican voodoo here. You need to stop. All right, that's not what I'm asking.
You said the other direction, so now we're going
Okay,
to.
so how do you make people smarter,
No,
or
you can't.
how can you get them to use more than their 15 or whatever percentage of the brain?
No, we can't.
Okay, that means that there's a huge portion of the brain that's just completely unused.
That's not true. The fact that we don't know what it's doing does not mean that it's unused. Remember, we have no idea what it's doing. We sit there and we say 15% is being consumed for the functions that we understand.
Okay, so what we need is a volunteer,
Told.
or a voluntold, and that percentage of areas that we know that already know that are being used.
According to sci-fi, they become a god and they destroy the planet. Well, no, they don't.
We
destroy
need
the
to
planet.
we need to find the parts that we believe aren't being used, and like get an ice cream scooper and get
I
a big
got a
old chunk of it
question.
out.
Do we believe that they're not being used? I thought science says we do not understand what these areas are doing.
We
That's
don't
not-
know that they're actually doing anything. Is what science
Exactly.
says.
So we lack in understanding. So we need to expand our brains to understand what the heck our brains are doing.
So if they took an ice cream scooper and they get a big old chunk out of the section that they're like, we don't know what it's doing, and then find out how that guy proceeds,
You can't do that though,
why not?
because we do not fully understand how the brain actually stores, retrieves, and/or maps anything.
Yeah, but
So what you think may
There's
not be
people that
using-
survive, but like with pieces of their brain missing, no problem. They get it, like a
Yeah,
gunshot
you- you-
wound,
you-
and big old
you-
chunks are removed. And it's like, that's
Uh-huh.
not a critical portion of your brain. You're fine. And they're able to like tie their shoes, wipe their own ass, play on the computer. Some of these guys are good at World of Warcraft. Not that it takes skill. But
But the things that those parts of the brain that we're doing that we do not know because we cannot map it, we do not have a full understanding of it, have ceased to function. We do not know what is happening to that individual. We do not know the
So-
long-term effects because what we see as normal function doesn't necessarily mean that that was his only set of functions.
so it could be affecting a fourth dimension.
Oh, Lord help me. I need more scotch. I mean Powerade.
Power scotch.
That would be a lovely beverage
That
right
sounds
there.
amazing.
It's power scotch. You open it, you don't even have to drink it. You just open it and hang it over.
Okay,
and
so-
just hang your face over it and you absorb it.
Without the ability, like it's impossible to increase the percentage of the brain that they're using, and
That's
make
once
people
again,
smarter.
It's not true.
We don't know.
That we access. There's a
Right.
big difference between we're using and that which we access.
So how come all these companies out there will advertise that it'll increase your memory and so on, like that ginkgo biloba and so on, that they advertise saying it's great for your brain and it'll help you remember. And I don't know if I remember. Did I already say that or not? I don't remember. I should probably something going on.
I
But
think he needs a little ginkgo biloba.
is that what it's called? Is it supposed to help with
So-
your memory?
In essence, so the brain is just a bunch of neurons, which are really just a bunch of chemical senders and receptors. Anything that
Synaptic firing.
exactly
Pew, pew, pew.
anything that improves the efficiency of those synaptic firings
Sugar.
would more than likely. Do you want to know what was supposedly the best test methodology there is to known to mankind? Bag of M&Ms.
Maybe that's why I eat them. I don't remember.
Keep
not
that
working.
brain floating in sugar, and supposedly for the duration of that bag of M&Ms, you will have better access and better capacity. You will be able to recall faster. And brain swimming in that stuff, going, hey.
So how come like high glycemic number diabetics aren't necessarily smarter than
Because
other
they're not
people?
processing their sugars.
Oh, okay. So those who are processing their sugars, if they do rapid processing through sugar content.
Hey, that's what they said. Bag of M&Ms should be able to help you perform better on
Hey,
an
but that
exam.
means that processed sugar, post-processed sugar,
Horribly processed sugar.
post-horribly processed sugar is brain
High
fuel.
fructose corn syrup. We can just pour high fructose corn syrup right on the brain.
Wait.
We may actually get to
Brain
50% capacity.
Just pour it in your ear.
Dude,
Right up the
we
nose.
need a voluntold.
Into your eyeball.
Well, you remember the way they used to do lobotomies?
Yeah.
So we just
The
kind of take a
stick.
syringe
No, a
of
straw.
high fructose corn syrup and pump some of that
A
bad
turkey
boy in
baster.
there. Oh, Lord, why?
Yes. We get some Red Bull, stick it in the turkey baster, shove it in your eye.
I'm scared now.
Yeah. But then it's not going to be post-processed sugar. It would be pre-processed sugar
Why would it be?
because it would be directly into your brain instead of being processed.
And I don't know if the brain
And
can actually
post-processed.
handle it in that form because it's.
I know,
not
that sounds extreme.
Swimming in glycogen versus swimming in high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably kill it.
With the Red Bull?
Yeah, probably
It'd
brain
kill the
death.
Red Bull?
Probably immediately. Brain would go, ah!
I wonder if it would enjoy it on the way out.
And then it starts oozing out of your ears. All that would just.
It'd
be
probably start yelling.
unpleasant.
Extreme! Grab a GoPro! Let's do something dumb!
And your brain flies out your ear with wings on. No thanks, I'll pass.
Yeah, was it called the Fluzoid or something?
I would just pass. No, thank you. That's all you.
The whole Red Bull contest where people make these things and they have to run 15 feet and jump off a platform over top of the water and see how you can fly the front.
Oh yes, no, I forgot all about
Yeah,
that.
I haven't seen one of those in so long.
That's because we're in pandemic land.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're all dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even me.
Yes, even the ancient one himself. Yes.
Even you.
It was funny though. Today, one of my yes, I know Lisa. Today, one of my
We're trying to
buddies-
expand our brains here.
Yes, one of my buddies asked for he said, hey, I'm looking for a new knife set, and I sent her a picture of a harvester. And I-
Giant reaper sickle?
And I said, haven't sharpened it in millennium. Still a razor sharp.
You know, apparently those things, to sharpen them, they have a small field anvil and a hammer, and they're supposed to cold hammer the end of those sickles. That whole arched sickle, they don't file it because any sort of filing or sharpening stone or anything like that would remove metal, and in order for it to last a lot longer, they cold the hammer on the edge of it in order to get
So your average Grim Reaper's carrying around the little anvil.
the tiny anvil and a hammer.
You know, they amaze me more every day.
I know. And that reaper could be thousands of years old and it'd still be the
Thousands.
original one.
Thousands.
Longer.
Please. That's a prepubescent reaper.
It could
Thousands.
be like since you pushed the dinosaurs off the flat earth.
At least you know.
Could have found it on the other side of the roots.
Hey, once again, one of these days, I'm gonna take you to the little hole I chipped in Antarctica. God, you know how long it took me to chip that little hole, so that you can see
See what?
what's on the other side.
You chipped a hole And the Antarctic side of the flat Earth,
Yeah, the walls.
so you could see what is on the other side.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Antarctica?
Because I knew that was where one of the walls was, and I'd been pushing dinosaurs off. I was over there and I was hanging out.
Why didn't you just tie a rope to a tree and jump off the end and see what's on the other side?
Because the walls are really tall, man.
Yeah, but I assume your hole to see the other side is really deep.
Yeah, but it's really tiny.
That's what she said.
I know, I get that a lot.
It's real long, it's real deep. No.
No.
That's why they call my beer can in college. Oh boy.
So now we're reversing the process, right?
Wait, which process?
The brain expansion.
Oh good, not the beer can.
So we're reversing the brain expansion. So in theory,
Wait, brain shrinkage.
you said you wanted, you said expand, but then we said we're reversing. So we want to make a tiny brain.
Oh,
Tiny.
the head shrinking.
Yeah.
That's back in the voodoo thing. Was everyone talking about that?
No.
The voodoo, you do.
So
Remind me of the baby.
what we're gonna do
The
is
baby with the power.
we're going to
The power of voodoo.
shave the head, score with our scalpel, peel. Then we're going to, how much smaller would you like this?
Half.
Oh, I feel bad for this guy. So we're essentially going to measure and then cut 2 swaths out of the skull. Look for the brain in the middle there. Scoop that right out and just push it all together. I'm not sure this voluntold is going to survive this process.
So if you just take a chunk out of the middle, that makes the eyeballs really close together.
Exactly. I'm not thinking that this individual is
When
going
he
to survive
crosses
this
his
process.
eyes, he can see each eye with his
When he
other
crosses
eye.
his eye, he may be able to see the back of his head.
See his ears.
So that's kind of nasty, man. I think you just created a halibut. I'm not sure.
That's not a halibut.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Eyes kind of on the side, stuff all jacked up looking. I don't know.
Yeah, that poor fish has been laying down on his job so long that he grew eyes on both sides. No, on just the one side. 2 eyes on the one side.
Oh, that's so terrible.
He's a sleepy fish.
That's so terrible. That is so terrible.
Yeah, I named him Joe. He's sleepy. Sleepy fish. You never named your fish? You had a big aquarium too.
Once, long ago, in
Yeah.
the galaxy. Oh, sorry.
I had 3 Oscars at one point in a 150-gallon
For
tank.
what? The best actor.
No,
best
the Oscar
screenplay.
fish, not the Oscar awards from the idiots in California.
Why they have to be idiots?
Okay, well, have you ever seen who was awarded an Oscar? What they are awarded for? Not for being a fish. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Why do they have to be idiots? You know,
Because they're not fish.
I got into
That's an Oscar.
conversational discussion with someone the other day about, we live in a time of complex political parties, and then they're like on either side of the aisle, people are like, why do we always have to resort to name calling, you blank tard? And I'm like, but aren't you calling that person a name? So why are you complaining about it? So is that pure
That sounds
hypocrisy?
juvenile on both sides.
Yeah, and they're both just being, hypocritical and idiotic. And I'm like, you know what? I'm beginning to. I almost went down the rat hole of contemporary times.
So
Let me pump the brakes on that.
I have a question.
Oh crap! He's got a
What
question.
does that have to do with expanding your brain?
Because
It sounds more like they just got head shrunk.
unluckily, I think you're right. If their brains
Okay.
were truly expanded, we would actually be back to the times of the birth of this country and the founding fathers, and we would have, discourse and dialogue, as opposed to finger pointing and accusations and name calling and just waiting for the other side to fail, because the people who fail are the country. But apparently,
Right,
we've
exactly.
lost sight
We should
of
raise
that.
everybody up and it helps everyone.
Yeah, but that's not our way, apparently.
No.
But let's get back to shrinking heads.
You gotta be mad at people and tell them to go shrink their head.
So yes, when your people first showed up on my island, oh no, wait, I mean,
Hey, no. Remember, my grandmother was left on the doorstep of a Catholic church in the middle of the Ukraine. My grandmother. There was no, you people drop people off at my island of Barbados. You know, that didn't happen, dude.
So yes, like I was saying, so you would cut a swath out, scoop, and then, but then again, you're gonna have that thing, because their eyes are all gonna be like
bugs.
I'm not even sure, like lobster.
Ooh.
Maybe crab.
I like lobster.
Oh, I love me some lobster. Will you stop sidetracking us?
Oh, that's how I expand my brain. Eat seafood. Omega-3, man.
Food with calcium and seafood.
Yes.
Right?
The fish oils are very good for you. But in this case,
as a lubricant?
Like krill oil, which is also found the same type of oil in other exoskeletons that are sea life.
So, lobster oil?
But lobster oil sounds like it would be more expensive than krill oil.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard to juice a lobster.
I've never tried.
I mean, I'm just
if
saying.
If you have learned how to juice a lobster, let us know. I mean, you can make lobster soup. I guess that's as close as it gets.
That's not juicing the lobster.
But you're not juicing a lobster.
You've taken it out of the shell at that point.
Yeah, but you
juice the lobster, shell and all.
Get a crawfish, and you pinch its tail, and you suck its head. Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm on pass.
No.
I'm on pass.
I will
probably out.
I will eat crawfish to the point where I'm sick. I will throw up, and then go back to eating more of them. I like crawfish that much.
It's fundamentally disturbing. I mean, what you just said is you lack impulse control.
Yes, I told you that was steak. You said, we're going to look in the refrigerator and find an 8-ounce steak. That's what you said in the last episode. Not happening. My brain does not allow me to go, I'm going to leave a little bit of this most delicious thing I've ever had sitting there. That's not going to happen.
It can't be the most delicious thing you've ever had.
At the point of me eating it, it is.
It can't be the most delicious thing you've ever had every single time.
It
can only be the most
delicious thing. It only
delicious
feels
thing
like that at that moment. I know. I lack impulse control only in certain things.
You need help.
No, I just need more meat.
You need help. I think we need to maybe shrink your brain pan. So
no.
Let's come on. We can do this.
Yeah, it's too much.
You know what? And we'll do a local so that you can talk while I do it. But the brain really feels no pain. Pain receptors.
But there's no pain receptors in the brain. Yeah.
Exactly. So I can scoop and you can tell me what's happening as I scoop.
So you could poke them in the brain.
That'd be kind of cool, don't you think?
Nope. Squish. Nope. Squish. Nope.
And instead of a scooper, we could go. We could be conservative and go like a little melon baller, and we would slowly melon ball bits of your brain out
until you start speaking differently.
Until you start, God, you may actually come up with a completely different language, and then we'll discover.
Put that part back.
No, because maybe we'll discover that everything's in there, and that's in the areas we don't access.
There's areas of the brain in which you don't exist?
Excess. Yes, thank you. The stuff we think we don't use, but that we're actually using.
Okay, so if the post-processed sugar affects the parts of the brain in which
the post-processed sugar.
All right, I'm just getting there.
Okay, fine.
It's not snack foods anymore. The post-processed sugar that affects the parts of the brain that we understand.
So when you say post-processed, you've eaten it, it's now glycogen. Loading, it's being pumped by the bloodstream
directly into your brain.
So it's like your brain's got a specifically made Red Bull for it.
Yes. Now, if you were to take the Red Bull and jam it directly into the eye hole, right to the brain,
you're dead. Okay.
No, you might only hurt the parts that are accelerated by the post-processed sugar by giving it pre-processed sugar to the rest of it, and you might activate the other portions of the brain.
And then they put the keys in, and that one part with the Red Bull goes, and I'll form the head. Oh, sorry.
What the heck just happened?
I don't know. You were making it sound like, are we looking Voltron here? What the hell are you doing?
What do you need keys for?
What was the? Because you had to, and then it would, and the key, and it would lock it, and then the lion would fold itself into like a match, and then a foot would come out.
Voltron had keys.
Didn't the original one have keys?
I don't
Didn't
believe
they have
so.
Keys?
No.
I would have sworn they had keys.
In the original Voltron, there wasn't any gay people either, but there is in the new Voltron. I don't know where they had it.
Okay, Is gender affiliation relevant to fighting skill?
It didn't make any sense. Why did anybody need to know? They didn't.
So that
I'm not sure how it played into the storyline.
others could identify them with them as heroes.
Is that the idea?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Shining examples.
I just didn't understand why anybody needed to know, because I never knew in any of the original Voltron if anybody was or not, but you found out that somebody was in the new Voltron.
Oh, you didn't really care. You just wanted to watch.
Yeah, like, wait a minute, where did that come from?
And the lions.
No, yeah, all I wanted to do was watch them transform all their lions into a giant Voltron and
form the head
like,
and then form blazing sword. Yeah, that whole entire thing. Yeah. That's terrible that we remember that. That's just absolute shite right there.
Right, because our brains are expanding.
I don't know if they're expanding, but they're accessing some old crap right now. It's like, hey, black and white.
I think of my brain as a bucket. All right.
With a hole in it?
Very tiny hole.
There's a hole in my
and it can
bucket,
only fill in
Eliza.
so much in the brain at a time, right? Some things will drip out of the bottom, and then there's a level. It just won't take any more.
Your brain has a level in it?
But it accesses information, not like the Dewey Decimal System, but more like an old Rolodex.
That's terrible.
It's like I get past something, it's like, I don't remember what I just passed. You gotta go forward again to get to it. Like a one-way Rolodex. Only goes one direction.
But it's not linear. It's like time. It's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
Oh boy.
What?
Go back to your sonic screwdriver.
Look, man, at no point did I ever need more of a weapon than the Sonics, and I brought down entire civilizations with just the sonic screwdriver. Remember that, boy. Remember that. I would
Are
make
you the original Doctor Who?
great Doctor Who. I would make it absolutely flippin' I would be James Eccleston with a bad attitude problem. Oh my lord, I would be a fantastic Doctor Who.
Doctor Who Zero.
I would be like I would be like Darth Doctor Who. I would be like Mace Doctor Who. I would be like Gray. There would be that little fine line. Is he kidding? Oh my god, he just destroyed that
instead
planet.
of Doctor Who, it's Doctor Everyone Knows Him.
No, Doctor Everyone Fears Him.
Oh, okay. Well, at least everybody knows you by fearing you. Dr. Fear.
The headless Doctor Who. I'd carry my head around. Big pumpkin on top.
See, if your head came off, what would be between your head and the space that you just removed it?
I'm an alien life form. I don't know. It could just be the energy that exists. I can be beaming.
Flap of skin.
Beaming my thoughts to my body. Maybe
the original Bluetooth.
Oh Lord. Maybe the whole entire thing was a symbiotic relationship in and of itself. The head was a separate organism, and the body was just a transport. Think about that.
I think about it too much. It feels like I'm using too much of my brain.
Well, that's how you expand it.
Oh, so you mean I just went from 15.000000 to 15.00000001?
No, you lost space because you just crammed something in a space that was there.
Oh, that's right.
A little
drip came out.
A little drip came
the
out.
bucket overflowed. The bucket's getting old. It's got a crack in it now.
We better go to like Brain Home Depot and get you a new bucket, man.
Brain Depot for a new bucket. Nice.
Oh man.
What would you call a Brain Depot for like Lowe's version?
So there are those that argue that true contractors go to Lowe's because Lowe's has all the things that and the foo-foo-y, frilly kind of I do stuff in my house and piddle around. People go to Home Depot.
Well, who goes to Ace Hardware?
That desperate dude that can't find that one-off thing that he needed in the wrong time of day, and you have to go and
I tell you what, if you're looking for some really off-the-wall, like I can't find this in any other place.
Even better, you walk in the door and it's like, and you just hold it up, and before you can even ask the question, they tell you the aisle.
Yeah, they read thoughts in there, man.
It's disturbing.
Weird. Yeah, like you go into the section where they have like bolts and screws and stuff, and you see like Imperial.
They have bolts and screws?
And metric, yeah.
Because that's how your boat moves. The
Nuts,
screws turn.
bolts, screws.
Oh, I was thinking propeller.
They'll have fine thread. They'll have...
You mean like silk?
Standard thread. And
like
then
cotton,
they'll also have reverse threads.
like polyester or something.
No, like on screws, bolts, and nuts. No, stop it. I know you're trying to go, whoa, you get like cashews in there? No, there might be cashews. They sell snacks in there too. Right next to the Red Bull and turkey baster. You know you'll find one of these hardware somewhere. Well, those guys got everything.
I'm trying to understand why there's a turkey baster and Red Bull at Ace Hardware, but okay. I don't shop where you shop, obviously.
You've never been there, have you? They got
I've
everything.
been to Ace Hardware. I've been to the Ace Hardware up the street from me. I've been to the Ace Hardware on US 1.
You know, years ago, in
Really?
one of these advertising newspapers, back before internet was super popular.
Newspaper.
I know, it was paper that was delivered to your doorstep, and inside of it had relevant advertising.
Why would they deliver it to your doorstep?
Because there wasn't internet. Internet wasn't popular. You remember those times, I'm sure. That's like 99.999999999% of your life. Unless that part fell out of the hole in the bucket. Anyways, so they had what was known as a flyer, or an advertising, inside of it that advertised
cheerleader and the
cheapest,
person you throw in the air. That's the flyer.
Sure. They advertised a turkey carving knife, and it was the cheapest I've ever seen. It was a $10 electric turkey carving knife with a $10 refund.
Did the picture of the turkey knife, was it a gentleman wearing a vest with a tie on, holding this over the turkey?
Yes.
Yeah, that's disturbing that I can see it. It's clear as day in my
And
head.
he's carving the
That's
turkey.
really
and
bad.
the vest is red.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
really bad. No,
And
it
it
was
said
black,
something like Happy
actually,
Holidays.
because it was
No, the tie
black
was
and,
red.
No, it was black and white in the ad I saw. So
No, it was a color ad.
I didn't have. Once again, you're young.
You don't have color memory. You have black and white memory.
The original ads were black and
Well, I think it maybe just because your brain was
They
the older version of
colored
it.
the
It's
ads
still in black and white.
later, but the original ad.
Mine went the color, but it's still
Like-
shown in like CRT and.
No, I did.
I think the new people, theirs is like LCD screen memory.
You're using cycles unnecessarily, whereas that's why I access more of my brain than you do, because I use very basic low-level functions, so I let the higher stuff run.
Oh, I'll forget about this in a minute because
know.
I'll have gone past it in my Rolodex.
I know. I fully understand. See,
Anyway,
it's like
so
Microsoft.
the-
you know?
so the
They
turkey
keep
carving
upgrading
knife-
you, and you need a more powerful computer because the operating system keeps getting fatter and fatter, and I'm sitting there going, I'm running very low-level, lightweight command.
Yeah, so anyways, if you had this advertising, right, and you go into Ace Hardware, the hardware store,
Yes.
to get the turkey carving knife,
Because you know,
and you showed that coupon with the turkey carving knife at the register, they give you a receipt. That's it.
Can I get like the free turkey carving knife, some 4x4 so I'm going to use it to build a deck. I need some deck screws, and can I get like 8 bags of concrete?
They had all of that.
I know, which is really messed up.
And drywall, avocados, corkscrews, and
Thank God they didn't sell
stuffed
wine.
kittens.
Thank God they didn't sell wine, because that would have been over
I don't
the top.
recall if Ace Hardware ever sold alcohol.
I don't believe they have. Not that I recall.
Damn, guys, step up your game. Seriously. You know what? I bet they had beer kits. Or you could brew your own.
That would not surprise me.
That would be something I would expect to find in there.
That would not surprise
Because
me.
that's not like a Walmart thing.
Well, it is.
Maybe like a Alabama, Mississippi Walmart.
Exactly. I mean, you've got to be in the right
You're not
market
going to find
for
that in this area.
it. You look, our Walmart doesn't stock anything. I mean, it's sad.
Apparently they stock masks. If you don't have one when you go to the front of it, since they're requiring it, they give you one.
Don't make me go down that road.
Well, I wanted a new one for work the other day, so I went to Walmart, walked in, walked right back out. I had a new mask.
I'm just waiting for the fallout for all this insanity.
Apparently, it's, you know, in another 10 years, it's going to be those TV advertisements that said, during the time of 2020, if you wore this brand mask, then you could be entitled
my
to
Lord, yes.
substantial.
Yes.
If you use this brand of hand sanitizer, you could be entitled to substantial reward.
This is John Morgan of Morgan and Morgan.
At that point, shaking, Parkinson's going on.
I'm sorry, John. I'm really sorry. It was funny in the moment. It was funny. I'm sorry.
You know
Don't
what?
sue me.
I really hope he listens to this.
I hope he does
And
not listen to
I
this
hope he gets a
podcast.
good kick out of it, too.
I hope he actually does have a sense of humor, because that was wrong. It was like when you called out Kanye, and I was terrified. No, it wasn't you. It was Mark that called out Kanye. I'm like, oh, we're gonna
I
die.
called out Kanye, too.
Oh Lord, what is wrong with you people? What's wrong with you people? Leave them alone.
We talked about him in our second episode ever.
Oh, that's true.
Remember?
Yeah,
How
you
to Live in Space?
because you were harping on the Mark podcast too, so you were like, let's. I'm like, no, we don't want to get sued. We do not.
Ah. Yeah, but I don't think Kanye West listens to this.
We'd have to hire Matthew McConaughey to get us out of this.
What percentage of brain do you think Kanye West uses?
He's a musician. I think musicians use more of their brain than
I
average
think so
person.
too. I think musicians on average probably have like that high percentage because, especially like drummers,
Oh.
because each one of their appendages they control individually through different rhythm times.
Most drummers are actually like reformed octopi. But
that makes sense.
Musicians, I mean, since music is really higher order mathematics.
Well, like a guy that can play his guitar and sing at the same time.
Are you one of those people that can't like chew a stick? You have to pause chewing to take a step, don't you?
I will trip over a flat surface.
That's terrible, man. That's just terrible. You need to expand your brain capacity.
What percentage of my brain do you think I use? Mind you, my degree's in software engineering. I'm a retired Navy pilot. Other things that I don't remember because my Rolodex has gone too far. No.
On average, or at any given moment in
Do
time?
you think my brain fluctuates? That's probably true. I
Your
bet it's
brain's
like
going,
at least sub 3% in the morning before my coffee.
it's like a Windows 98 machine trying to boot up Windows 10.
Do 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 do.
All you go in, you go into Task Manager and everything's pegged.
You can't even get into it. It'll window over top of the error with another error saying that the error errored.
I'm sorry. That was
And then
cool.
you could grab the error
That
with
was-
your pointer and move it around, and remember it would cascade errors across your screen because it wouldn't clear it. Boy, those were the times, aren't they? What a great age of computing, not. Oh boy.
But we got a lot accomplished during those times because, I mean, it was an incredibly powerful operating system for its day.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't get a whole lot accomplished when you were waiting on the dot matrix printer to finish its job.
It depends on how much you were willing to invest in your dot matrix printer, but some of those things could look. They were practically tattoo artists.
Yeah.
Some of the high end ones were just frighteningly fast, and the sound they made sounded like it was actually eating the paper while it was printing on it.
What I miss out of those times too is the perforations on the side. Remember, you could tear them off.
Why did you miss? Because that was only for little
Because
tractor
you could
wheels that pulled
fold
the
them
paper.
into a thing and make a slinky out of it.
Mommy.
They were great for origami or basic origami. And if you could try to figure out how to get them to fold over top of each other, where you match the hole over top one of the other, that was always the challenge. No, you couldn't do it.
Once again, are you sure you were trying to increase your brain capacity? I'm not sure here. I'm not
It was
buying.
no different than trying to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Who?
A Rubik's Cube. Without taking the stickers off and putting all the yellows on one side, going, I solved it, guys. No,
No.
no,
No.
no,
No.
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 People now can solve those things like, I mean, it's incredible.
Does your kid do it? My kid does it.
I don't know. She probably could. I know my son's never tried.
Shazam! Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I bet your boy could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I tell you he did a tournament last week? He did a tournament last week.
He did well, didn't
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
No, man.
He's gonna be a pro.
I don't know if he's going to be a pro.
I mean,
he's still got to work on some fundamentals, but his patience is getting there, which is the most important aspect, in my opinion. Once he masters patience, then learns how to like read the lane and starts to, instead of throwing to an arrow, starts throwing to the break point, so that no matter what the lane condition, he kind of adjusts and continues to throw to that break point. He's going to be frightening.
And I think if the motherly figure allowed him to do it more often, he would be frightening a lot sooner.
Yeah, we're not going down that river now.
No, probably not.
No,
that makes your brain shrink.
Or it makes my brain do something.
Yeah, because the blood pressure goes up, makes the brain.
Actually, this year, after all the COVID nightmarish BS, my blood pressure doesn't even budge anymore. I'm like, at this point, I'm about as zen as it can get.
Like, murder hornets, bring it on.
Seriously, I'm like,
I'll go outside with a wiffle bat.
No, not even. Come on. Stab me in the arm. Oh, I think that's quite painful. But I'm not dead.
It's not a big deal. That's right. It's
Just
not a big
piss
deal.
off.
You see a wasp, let it sting you. It'll go on about its
Unless
business.
you're allergic.
Right.
If you know you're allergic, don't do that.
Yeah,
'cause,
don't eat tree nuts
this-
if you're allergic to tree nuts. Same
Why
idea.
would I want?
Because I'm allergic to tree nuts. That's why I mentioned them. Don't eat cats if you're allergic to cats.
I'm not
No.
going to do it. I'm not going to do it. That was too easy.
I went
I'm
to
not going to do it.
a friend's sailboat the other day.
You went to a friend's sailboat?
I went to a friend's sailboat the other day. Yeah, it's an old one, very old, and everything's really beautiful on it. It even has a wooden mast. It's that old. Beautiful, beautiful boat. Anyways, we're sitting at the cockpit area.
Wood?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It's tall and long.
What color was it?
Wood? Tan, I guess? I know where you're going with this. Anyway, so we're sitting in the cockpit talking about, the age of the boat. It's like a 1965 or something like that. And,
That's a young boat.
Well, in the age of sailboats, technology for those really started to pick up around the 60s. So 65 was kind of like the pinnacle of when they did really, really highly intricate wood designs before they started going into like machinery and more efficient designs. Well, this is more into the
Windows Vista.
Ew. No, this is more into the beautiful look with all the bronze, not brass, not stainless steel, bronze,
OS2?
and teak. I mean, it was really nice. And we were talking about the history of the boat and where it was at and where he's been around the world and stuff like that. And there's this wasp that's buzzing around. And I'm like, go away, wasp.
A white Anglo-Saxon Protestant?
No. Just an actual bug, the wasp that stings.
Okay.
And just a standard wasp, not a mud wasp, not a yellow jacket or whatever those are called.
It wasn't 2.5 feet long?
No, not a murder hornet, just a regular wasp. And it's like, go away, wasp. And I thought it left. And then I felt it land on my back. I was like, maybe it'll just sting me, get it over with, and go away.
And it did.
It did sting me. And then it started buzzing in my face, going, ha ha ha, I just stung you. I'm going to sting you again. What do you think of that? Ha ha. Basically, it was taunting me after it stung me. I was how rude, Mr. Wasp.
Hold on. So you're a higher order being. Because you access parts of your brain that very few people can, because you were talking to an insect.
You don't do that. The problem is,
so ladies and gentlemen,
they don't respond.
Thank you very much for participating in today's journey into the cranial cavity.
Oh boy. All right, so if you have any questions, concerns, comments, complaints about anything that we said here today or ever, give us an email. Send us an email.
No, do not give it to us. Send it to us.
Send it to us. Yes, that's right. At Anchor. Wait, no, that's not the one.
No.
Rolodex.
This will take a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
Notrobotsquestions@gmail.com, and then you can also send us a voicemail at anchor.fm/not-robots. That's the one.
What he just said.
I did.
I'm really concerned for him.
Why?
But remember, if you want to be a voluntold, where do you need to send an email again?
To Don't Be a Fool Raptor Tool. Is that it?
Dude, we need voluntolds for this.
Oh, right. Notrobotsquestions@gmail.com.
Yes. Please be a voluntold. I gotta go get my utensil sharpened.
I have those really good knife sharpeners. And speaking of knives,
Do you have an
yours back?
autoclave?
No.
Well, we gotta sharpen you. We gotta clean the scalpel.
I have the guided Japanese whetstones.
Is that gonna be enough to disinfect the scalpel so that we can cut somebody's head open?
Well, on the second volunteer, we don't need to disinfect
Yeah,
it.
but the first guy, person, entity, whoever volunteers.
Okay.
Ooh, it's awesome if it's a chick. Oh, muscular chick with thick neck, so that we can cram some brain in there. Yes, we need.
Don't worry about this guy. There's nothing wrong over here. Nothing to see here.
But no, we need like a CrossFit chick. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I don't know what's up with this guy
Think
today.
about all that excess capacity.
My robot's out. And cut.
So sad.
What?
That's so sad.
What's sad?
You keep like we were trying to save the world. We could create
I don't know how this is
some
saving anything.
some genius that would solve the world's problems and become the planetary emperor.
Captain
Because it
Planet,
would have such a big
here.
brain and it would be like,
We gotta go. It's an hour, bro.
But-
Yep. Now robot's out.
disappointment. That was terrible.
It only allows hour segments. I'd have to stop and do it again.
Oh, dang, I've been busy.
What is this called? Expand your brain hole?
Something like that.
Expand your Brian hole. Check. Bing. Expand your Brian hole.
Brian? Like
Pinky and the brain.
Pinky and the Brian.
One is a genius, the other's insane.
Which one was insane?
They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spliced.
Which one was insane?
The pinky and the brain.
Which one was insane?
Probably both of them, honestly. Remember, are you thinking what I'm thinking, Pinky? Yeah, Brain, but where are we gonna find rubber pants of our size at this hour of the night?
See, I'm thinking Pinky.
Well, yeah, Brain, but this time you were the tutu.
I'm thinking Pinky was the same one. You never know.